what we're going to do is we're going to forage for wild edibles, medicinals, poisonous, do what you want with them, and trees and their uses, what we can use them for when we're out doing this sort of thing. Now there are certain rules for foraging in the UK. There are things that we can forage for, and they are the 4 Fs. Anyone like to hazard a guess at 4 Fs? Foxtrot, F. Anything? Yeah, so flowers, foliage, fungi, and fruit. Okay, they are the 4 Fs of what we... there are also some rules. There are 6 golden rules, and a little thing to remember is I've made many a tasty soup. Okay, what do we think I could be? It's one of the most important things. Yes, so identification. Okay, I is for identification. 100% identification at all times when we're foraging. If you think, is that, if in doubt, leave it out. Okay, you get a lot of sad sayings now. Okay, if in doubt, leave it out. 100% identification. If you can walk up to something and 100% say, that is a stinging nettle, then that is your 100% identification. If you are in doubt, leave it out. Okay, so I, identification, made, so M, I've made, so medication or medical conditions. Okay, if you are on some sort of medication, or if you've got some sort of medical condition, just be very careful what you're eating. It can affect the medication that you're taking, or it can affect your medical condition. Okay, so just be very careful of that. So I've made, and then many, minors. So for instance, if you are out foraging with a young person and you pick something, it's whatever fits in their hand. Okay, this is also part of one of the rules as well, but whatever fits in their hand, not yours. So if you were to grab a whole load of something, it's what would fit in your hand for you and for them as well, because they're a lot smaller, so their tolerance is a lot smaller than ours, so they can't handle as much. So I've made many. Allergies. If you've got any allergies, so I always tell the story, my ex-wife really allergic to pollen, so really bad hay fever. If she got close to any flowers and things, she'd start to itch away and things like that, so I always bought her flowers.
You did say ex.
Yeah. So just be very careful if you suffer with allergies like hay fever and things like that. So if you're eating things that you're then allergic to, that would affect you. So I've made many. Tasty would be tolerance. So I mentioned that a minute ago, but tolerance, your own tolerance. Okay, remember what fits in your hand. Everyone's different, so what fits in the palm of your hand would be your tolerance, or the amount that you could have. And remember, just because something is edible, your tolerance is different to everyone else's. Okay, and everything that is edible is still poisonous in large quantities. Yeah, so if we eat too much of something, it's not going to do us any good, is it? So but the thing is, we are not used to eating all of this that's out here. We go to the supermarket and we buy our fruit and we buy our veg. We're not used to eating all these different things out here, so our tolerance is totally different to us going to the shop and picking an apple. Okay, things grow differently, all the different things out here that are making it grow, so our tolerance is a lot different. Okay, so your tolerance is different to everyone else's. Just because you can handle it doesn't mean they can as well. Okay, so I've made many. Tasty, and then soup would be safe sourcing. Okay, safe sourcing. So always make sure you know where you're getting it from, as in next to farmers' fields. Herbicides, pesticides and things like that. Just be very careful what you're picking. We've all seen the little old lady on the side of the road picking the blackberries, isn't she? Always by the side. She's everywhere you go. She's there picking blackberries off the side of the road. Years and years of pollution coming from them cars, and she's there picking them off, putting them in there, putting them in her pie. Okay, just think that's been grown with all them toxins growing for years and years on the side of that road. So safe sourcing, we never get things from the side of a road, side of a track. So we're going to be wandering around the woods. Shouldn't be any dogs in here, but we need to remember when we're out sort of wandering in the woods and we're foraging, nothing lower than dog height. Okay. Also, we'll be very careful when we walk through where your tarps were, because you all might have picked a certain tree or bush to do your business in, and then yeah, a little bit of a funky taste to it. Okay. So just remember safe sourcing, where you're getting it from. We never want to get it from the side of roads. So we've got these quads going up and down this track, so you'll see when we walk along the tracks it's a bit dirty, so we wouldn't want to get it from there. And remember, dog height, nothing lower than sort of waist height really, depending on where you are. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, it should be okay, but just remember safe sourcing. I've got my stick here as well. Okay, I look like a shepherd. It is for a reason. So, have you heard the term of by hook or by crook, I will get that? That comes from the old shepherd. So, again, you get the people wandering around, they pick all the apples off the tree, up to about this height. Shepherd comes along and goes, aha, pulls it all down and gets the best ones from up the top that no one else can reach. By hook or by crook, I will get that. And that is where that comes from. So I can reach up and I can grab things and put them down and show you and grab all the best things from up top with my crook or my hook. And also on the other end, I've got, or what was, it's a bit old now, I've got a chisel end. And this is my digging stick, so I can dig down and get roots. Talking of roots, without landowners' permission, we mustn't uplift and dig up any roots, okay, and remove wild flowers, okay? And that takes us on to the sort of protected species list as well. We mustn't dig up anything that's on the protected species list or take from the protected species list. But things that I will show you aren't going to be. But we have got landowners' permission to take certain things, but if you're just out wandering in the woods, you need landowners' permission to start digging up and uplifting roots to eat and use.
Everything up here is okay?
Yeah, we can take fungi, flowers, foliage and fruit. But remember, not to sell or rewards, we can't go and fill up our basket, but we can take a few berries off and pick a few plants and things. As long as it's not on the protected species list, then we're not uplifting it all and destroying it. Talking of that as well, we take things, so take take little from a lot of different places instead of a lot from one little place. If we then take loads from this, oh look what I found, all of this, it's gone, never to return again. So we see something we like, we take a few little bits from different bits and it will regenerate and regrow. Okay, so we take it from a lot of different places, not a lot from a little place. Sticks. Happy?
Yep.
Any questions?